Okay, that's probably better. Debbie, do we all have to, the payroll cert, is that all of it? There's only 3 lines, that's just board chair?
I think it's just the chair and then, yeah.
So,
Okay, we are live.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Tyler.
No problem. All right, it is 7:01. We'll call the meeting to order and stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Okay, we are live.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Tyler.
No problem. All right, it is 7:01. We'll call the meeting to order and stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Hearing none, I would,
I move that we pass the consent agenda.
Second.
moved and seconded, pass consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On to reports and presentations. Krista. Okay. Enrollment.
So we're starting with enrollment. We have some really exciting news to share with you guys tonight. Our enrollment numbers are actually ahead of our budgeted enrollment figures. In almost every grade level except for the 3 grade levels. So we are, Weyerhaeuser is at pre-pandemic levels. So we're in good shape.
How are we in staffing then?
We are
As we budgeted?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're a little tight there in some areas. We're doing some shifting and planning on adding a teacher.
So we're only gonna have to do 1 hire?
We're assessing our numbers right now. So far, we've determined that we are in need of a kindergarten teacher.
Okay.
And that's the most immediate need right now that we can determine with just these preliminary numbers. Yeah. So, I know things always kind of settle down as, the first couple months. So we want to really see where we're at before making any quick decisions. But kindergarten, that certainly is, those numbers do warrant another teacher.
We also don't want to miss a hiring opportunity, right? Because further you get into the year,
Yeah.
it becomes more difficult. So
So we're hoping we can get maybe somebody who didn't get a job this last year, and we're hopeful that we'll get some good candidates, so. Yeah. And as far as the financials go, we're in a really good position. We are projected to end the year, well within our budget. Our local revenues are ahead of where we expected to be, as well as our state revenues. So we're right about where we expected to be for our revenues. So far, it's looking like we're going to end with a $4.7 million fund balance. So we've definitely come a long way in the last 3-4 years, and have just been growing that fund balance. So we're really happy with where we're at right now on that.
And I think it's important to note that even though we have a reserve, it still only really pays the bills for 1 month or less. It's not,
Payroll
and
bills.
this is not an exorbitant amount. This is
Yeah.
really just, last year we did not receive our apportionment on time, and if had we not had that reserve, we would have had staff that wasn't paid. And so I think it's really integral that, important that the community knows that's why we have the reserve for those rainy days, because they happen. Seems like they won't, but they do.
Absolutely. And we knew that going into this pandemic that we were going to be okay that first year, maybe 2 years, but we know that the next 2 years is really what's going to tell us where we're going to end, because that's when the state's going to start making cuts. If we're going to see cuts, it's going to be in the next couple of years. So we are definitely going to need those reserves to meet those cuts if the state does choose to cut us.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Krista.
You're welcome.
You got it through it, first one.
Oh, yeah, congratulations on your first report.
Thanks.
You've been here so much, I guess it didn't.
We're used to you. Okay, great. All right, hearings of individuals and groups.
Anybody saw this?
Did either of you sign up?
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
We don't have anybody.
Nobody? Nobody signed up. All right.
Sarah, would you like to introduce your guest?
Yes,
You
please.
brought today? Sure. So I'm Sarah Cole, school board candidate, and this is Susan Gordon. Hi.
Oh, it's nice to put a face to a name.
Yeah,
That's great.
She's been around.
Yes.
Yeah, she spoke at the last school board meeting in the.
And we hear from you. So thank you.
Yeah, I for your letters.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Good to see you, Sarah. Thank you. All right, unfinished business. We're pending second reading of a new policy.
I would like to go ahead and table that to accept president.
Yes, that's fine.
Kristen said she would be at the next meeting to answer any questions that you guys might have on that policy. She wants to look it over a little bit more herself.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. And on to new business. Consider approval of travel for Angela Stevens to attend the Florida Foreign Language Conference. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carried. Second thing is consider approval of resolution 729, approve new director to attend the WASDA conference. We're swearing in.
So moved.
second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On to superintendent's comments.
Okay, thank you. Well, first, I don't know if everybody's met Linda Lewis, our new HR
I'm
coordinator.
sorry about that. I have
That's all right. We
met
got a
her.
lot of things going on. I just wanted to welcome her here. She's been doing a bang up job so far. Thank you to Krista for sharing her office until we get our arrangements done that we need to get through to get her for her own office. We have something set up in place, but it involves moving our payroll and accounting, and we want to get through our payroll before we start moving files and doing those sorts of things. So anyway, welcome, Kalinda.
Thank
Been a
you.
welcome addition. We're enjoying having her with us. So I was thinking about what to report tonight, so I decided to report on power shutoff gate. I think it's gonna, all these little things, I'm just gonna put a gate behind it, you know, like water gate, so on and so forth. So I was just gonna talk about this last one because it was interesting how it played out. We, you know, as you know, we got the phone call in the morning saying that from the utility department that the power is going to be shut off at noon and last till midnight. And I was like, well, that's a little bit different. West, you know, 12 hours of a power shut off in an entire community. That'll be interesting. So we didn't waste any time, and first thing I do is I notified the board, let you know what was going on, and then our team kind of jumped into action. And what we did was a Google Meets administrative team meeting. Got all of the building and district level team together, kind of explained the situation. So then we strategized a little bit, and then we threw a plan in place, and we did that probably in less than a half hour. So really good news. People were ready to and knew what they had to do. And so because we had an early release schedule already in play, that's what we used as kind of our jumping off point that we were going to do and how we were going to put that together. So then this, after the second most important group to get a hold of after the board was parents. So we quickly put together kind of a letter that was going home to all the families, and Allison does a wonderful job helping navigate through that and got that out to everybody. And because we kind of have a two-tiered approach here, we were going to try to get students out as soon as possible, but we wanted to feed them, and we wanted to make sure that we had our buses in place and that parents gave permission so that walkers could walk, bus drivers could ride their bus, drivers could drive home. But that required several hundred phone calls that were coming into the building. So I really want to take my hats off to those building folks, especially the secretaries. I went to every building while this was going on, and they were too busy to even say hi, but they had a system in place and they were navigating right through it. Extremely impressive. And you can imagine, we only have 1 or 2 or 3 people manning the phones and the emails, and you've got several hundred coming in. You're having to go back and take voicemails and take emails and put all those things together. And they were exhausted by the end of the day, but they did a marvelous job. And I think the other group is that the parents were really understandable and did a nice job kind of figuring out that we're trying to get through this as quickly as we can. So the buildings, the support staff came through, the principals and the managers and the directors all stepped up and filled in as needed. We had several district office folks that went to some of the buildings to help fill goals. I know a district office stayed here. We had kind of a skeleton crew here so we could answer questions and help out and direct people where they needed to go. So that was really good. Debriefed afterwards and, came up with some good comments and good thoughts. We always want to add to our list, make sure that if something else comes up, what can we tweak a little bit. But most of it was just kind of situational because of this. It wasn't like, oh, oops, we forgot about how to do this. It was more, yeah, we have to use something like this again. There's that we have to put this into place. And the thing that made this interesting is I've been involved with many shutdowns, early releases before, but the thing that kind of was my brain was not catching up to what the environment was. And what I mean by that is, having worked in Spokane for several decades, we would have snow closures, and so you kind of have this visual of what the environment's like while you're shutting things down. It was a beautiful day. It wasn't matching up. What I was seeing and what we were trying to do was not matching up. But what we kept thinking of is because of COVID and the Delta variant, we couldn't have kids sitting in these buildings with no HVAC working and moving that in the air and filtering it out. So we couldn't pull that off. Otherwise, we would have just stayed in school and had them, probably had enough light where we could get by. But that was kind of the disconnect in my own brain. And I thought for a while, and then I finally just let my head get around and say, okay, just ignore the weather. We're doing the right thing. We're going to get the folks where we need to be. So all in all, I was really happy with all the folks that stepped up and did things that we needed to do. And again, having wonderful parents that were supportive and understanding what happened. I think I would grade us fairly high on how we pulled it off as a district.
Thank you for your leadership in that.
I got out of the way.
That's what a good leader does.
So that's about the only report that I have.
Just a new thing to add to the string of unforeseen events.
Yeah.
Last 12 months, I've been peripherally involved now in 2 sprinkler head accidents. So,
Oh,
Really?
yeah, we had one at work that shut down our operating rooms
Oh my goodness.
for 3 months, right at the end of COVID, right when we were told we could open back up. They're doing a deep clean of the operating rooms, and somebody bumped a sprinkler head, flooded it, and then took 3 months to get Department of Health to recertify everything was good.
Oh my God.
At the end of COVID's lockdown, for sure. So
That's crazy.
this is, I laughed, this is the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and by the way, so our auditorium, we've already got the crews in there, and I have some pictures. I just don't have it available, but they're moving right along. So I should be up and running here shortly.
Good, because there's a production coming up.
I know.
Yes.
All I could think of is those kids are going to be panicking.
Oh, I don't know. We're ahead of schedule,
Good.
and working with John Fisher on that. John did an outstanding job. I was sitting right next to him the whole time. He was calling the insurers up, and he's calling the construction crews, and just kind of, he had a protocol in his brain of what he had to do, and just hammering it out. So here we are, getting the auditorium back in shape.
Good.
But I took one picture, and it shows the inset lights, the recessed lighting, and the water was coming through. It looked like the Bellagio casino or something. I was like, boy, if we were doing that on purpose, it'd be pretty cool, but this is not on purpose.
No. And that's a very beloved
Yes, it is.
auditorium to the community.
Yeah, that was the comments that I heard.
Yeah.
In fact, the first comment wasn't, is everybody okay? The first comment was, what kind of shape's the auditorium in?
It's historic, and
No.
it deserves
That's a big deal.
our care. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I get it. So
Oh,
quick action by the district folks and by our fire departments came in, and they were lickety split.
That's Great, good news.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any student reps on? Anybody there?
Jason, Taylor.
Let's see, you've got Taylor and you've got Jason.
I'm here.
Or Taylor.
Okay. Taylor, do you have anything you'd like to report about the beginning of school or anything that's going on?
I don't think so. I think school's going really great. I'm loving senior year so far, so I think you guys are doing great.
Oh, thank you. Well, if we aren't, please let us know.
I think she will.
That's good. And we're looking forward to the time we can all be together here again.
Yes, for sure.
It's really better that way, so. Okay, Jason, do you have anything to share or add, or?
Hi, I think that the school year is going good so far. I look forward to coming to school every day, and I think it's a pretty positive year so far.
Good. Good news.
Yeah.
Have you guys met with Amy yet, Mr. Sherman? Sorry about that.
I haven't because I thought it was going to be on or like via Google Meet, but that had something going on.
Okay,
We haven't gotten together yet, everything.
I know, with everything that's
Internet
been
is
going
not-
on, but I know she intends to and wants to, so.
Yeah.
She will be
I'll
getting
try
with
to
all
get
three
that
of you.
set up here in the next couple weeks
Yeah.
so that the three of them, the three of them and Gary and Amy can all
Yep.
meet.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you in tonight and glad that you could be with us and glad that you've got a good start to the school year. Okay. What other board comments? Rhonda?
Just real quick, I'm so glad Jason and Taylor, you guys are having a good start to the year. That's really what this is all about. So those are very heartwarming comments that you made. So thank you, and keep being a light and leaders to the other students in our district. We appreciate you. I will be going to WASDA General Assembly. It's virtual. I've registered as the voting delegate. It's in the middle of the day. If anybody else would rather be the voting delegate, you can. I have to be there because I am on the legislative committee. So I figured it would be something that just you wouldn't have to worry about. But one of the things I'm hoping I can get I'm certain I can get unanimous support from our board around. We want to do equitable funding that really doesn't spotlight small and rural school districts to the point where we push legislators to consolidation conversations, but supports it around the understanding that every school district has different needs, and sometimes, equitable funding means smaller school districts need to be funded in different ways. And so I will be presenting on that, and hopefully get support. And what that means is that we'll give our legislative team the opportunity to proactively work with our legislators around that. Without that platform, then they can't speak on our behalf. So, and I will also volunteer our board to testify if needed, virtually or in person, probably virtually at this time. The other thing that I think is really exciting opportunity, Representative Wilcox will be coming to speak to students only this Friday at 1 o'clock. And I would imagine that if the board members would be welcome there as well. I know we can't have any outside people from the community there, but the fact that he's taking his time to allow student voice to be heard is very, very important to the students, and appreciate his time and willingness to come out. He's always been a great support for our schools, and really grateful for him.
Friday here.
Sorry?
Friday here.
Friday here.
Friday, at the high school, right?
At the high school, I'm not certain of the location. Amy hasn't given that to me, but it will be at the high school.
And Gary, I just found out about that myself. I read something in a bulletin and it's on your calendar.
Okay, good.
Sorry, Gary, I didn't think about telling you. I took care of the boss lady over there, but
The students know that's the part important.
that is the important part.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Sounds like quite a bit. Thank you for the work that you do.
Yep.
On our behalf, we really appreciate
It
it.
is my pleasure.
Great at it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's been great to get so much feedback after so long of not getting any from the community. So just wanted to acknowledge that, from parents to members of the community to teachers and staff, we're getting a lot of emails as a board, and we are receiving them and trying to field them the best we can. So just wanted to acknowledge that even if you haven't heard a response, that everybody's being heard.
Absolutely.
Yes, we read all of them.
We do.
We read all of them.
Definitely do.
That's it.
Okay. And I just would like to commend everybody, every staff member that we have for, you know, the smooth start to the year and for keeping up with everything that keeps going on and just taking it in stride and moving on it, just like the shutdown. I mean, you know, I got home and started our generator and got everything going in the house, and an hour later the generator went out and we were out of gas. My husband had to run to Fortune and buy some gas, get us going again. But you know, it's always with little glitches that occur. But I just really, I'm constantly bragging about our district and the people, every person in it, and all the work that they do, and letting people know how we're doing it, you know. And so I'm in my office is in the Franklin Pierce School District, and I have friends and acquaintances in the Bethel School District, so I have opportunity to have conversations with other people. I think we're doing a great job, and I really want everybody to know how much we appreciate everything to make it flow so well. And like I say, to take each kind of glitch as it comes and flow with it and make it work. So, and thank you that the auditorium's going to be back in shape and people can relax about that.
Yes.
So, okay, anything else? If not, we will adjourn this meeting at 7:22.
Good job.
Is that? Ooh, that's
Whoa.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, she is. Thank you all for being here. My son is candidate
Go,
for.
go,
I'm gonna go
Yes.
listen to.
You gotta listen in.
Yeah, gotta listen in.
Yep.
Proud mom.
Good, should be.
Thank you for coming.
I know you did. Good job. They do better than other board meetings.
Yeah.
They really do. Who made the cinnamon rolls?
Oh, Rhonda.
Rhonda did.
In memory of her father-in-law, right?